Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 on this Tuesday. We were going to go outside and grill with Angie Horkin today.
Yeah, she thinks it's too hot to grill.
Angie thinks it's too hot, so we're going to be grilling inside.
Boy, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
And it's going to get hotter from here.
She's out there a long time.
That's right. Over a hot grill is not where you want to be today.
Absolutely not. But we'll tell you what to grill once it cools off. And here's what's making news on this Tuesday. House Democrats are preparing to vote on a resolution condemning the president's tweets about 4 Democratic congresswomen.
A full week of military exercises includes disaster response training today. We'll share what people are learning.
And there's a shortage of translators at area hospitals as doctors see more non-English speaking patients. Danica Lewis shares what's being done to help.
Let's take a look outside. Another hot and steamy day. What a cute buddy. This is where you want to be, at the Fitchburg Splash Park. It's a busy day out there today.
I don't blame them. In other words, more of the same. Wow, look at those buckets jumping. Looks like fun. Dana's in the backyard. We should all be running through the water today.
If we had some sort of sprinkler out here right now, that's exactly what I would be doing. It is absolutely unpleasant outside right now. Just way, way too sticky. I actually have the grill right over there. I was looking at it a second ago when y'all were talking about grilling out. Definitely not a good idea for right now. It's too hot outside. Here's a live look from our WISC-TV sky cam. We do have a few clouds in the sky. Not a lot, though. Still pretty sunny. We have some showers well off to the west. There is going to be a chance for showers and thunderstorms tonight, but we're not looking at anything coming through this evening. We're at 87 currently in Madison, 91 in Mineral Point, about 86 right now in Janesville. Over the next few hours, our temperatures, of course, will fall a little bit. We'll stay in the 80s up until about sunset, and then overnight lows only dropping close to about 70. We'll take a look at what's ahead with this warm trend continuing over the next few minutes. Now, looking at traffic, this is a delay that we have right now on 39 and 90 northbound. This is down near Beloit. Construction there has the northbound side reduced to 1 lane. Now, we did get a notification that the lane should be reopened by 9 o'clock this evening, but there are significant delays if you are planning on going in that direction. Along the Beltline right now, we do have delays on the eastbound side. Westbound doesn't look nearly as bad. From Janesville to the Beltline will take you about 26 minutes, 16 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and from Sun Prairie to downtown this evening should be about a 15-minute drive. It's going to be a hot evening for us, but again, over the next few days, we're just sticking in the same boat. We're in for a warm end to the week.
All right, thank you, Dana. We'll check back in just a little while.
Armed forces from across the country are here in Wisconsin practicing how to help people after a natural disaster.
The exercise put on by the National Guard is called Patriot North, and it's taking place at Fort McCoy, Volk Field, and Camp Douglas, preparing agencies to respond to emergencies in our area and across the country. Our Amanda Quintana is just back from Toma with the details. Amanda?
Yes, well, the main disasters that they're preparing for in Wisconsin are thunderstorms and flooding. In other areas, it's earthquakes or hurricanes. Patriot North has taken place in Wisconsin for the last 6 summers. Today's exercise included the landing of a C-130 on a small dirt strip. Following a disaster, this plane would bring in supplies and the Special Tactics Squadron to rescue people. But the Patriot North Deputy Director says one of the biggest benefits of this exercise is getting to know the local partners.
The local security forces, police forces, sheriff, you've got the firefighters. You know, if we're not on the same page working together, then we're out doing missions on our own without multiplying the force to save more people.
One of their big partners is the Salvation Army, including volunteers who can help distribute food and water. There are more than 700 people participating, from local law enforcement to emergency management agencies and National Guard soldiers and airmen. We will hear more about the role the Salvation Army plays at 5 o'clock.
Got to be prepared.
Yes.
Amanda, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. The man who kidnapped 13-year-old Jamie Kloss and killed her parents has been moved to an out-of-state prison. The Wisconsin Department of Corrections says 22-year-old Jake Patterson has been transferred out of Wisconsin, but they wouldn't say where. Patterson is serving 2 life sentences plus 40 years on 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide and kidnapping. In January, Jamie escaped Patterson's cabin in Gordon, Wisconsin, after being held captive for 88 days. He was initially being held at the Dodge Correctional Institution in Waupun.
More local news now. Highway 135 in Sauk County is open between Rock Springs and North Freedom after a disturbance early this morning. The Sauk County Sheriff says around 1, they responded to a report of a gunfire during a disturbance at a fight in Rock Springs. Deputies say a victim ran away from the scene, but 39-year-old Bradley Lewandowski stayed inside and barricaded himself from authorities. Negotiators tried to talk to him for several hours before they were able to arrest him. House Democrats are voting on a resolution condemning some of President Trump's tweets that some are calling racist.
Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
Speaker of the House is recognized.
The House is debating a resolution condemning tweets from President Trump targeting 4 congresswomen of color.
Every single member of this institution, Democratic and Republican, should join us in condemning the president's racist tweets.
Move on to engage in the work and what matters of real substance and importance to the people of our country, rather than baseless name-calling and offensive lectures.
The president continues to defend his Sunday tweet in which he called the congresswomen un-American and suggested they should go back from where they came.
It's what they say about our country. It's my opinion they hate our country. And that's not good. It's not acceptable.
The Democratic House resolution, quote, strongly condemns President Donald Trump's racist comments that have legitimized an increased fear and hatred of new Americans and people of color.
I will not speculate on this floor about the motives or intentions of the president. But no one can dispute that the words he said and wrote were racist words.
Republican leaders called the House resolution politically motivated and urged their colleagues to vote against it.
I want to make absolutely clear that our opposition to our socialist colleagues has absolutely nothing to do with their gender, with their religion, or with their race. It has to do with the content of their policies.
Some Republicans who have spoken out against the president's tweets say they will not likely support the resolution. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
President Trump tweeted out a quote from Leader McCarthy and thanked him for his support in voting against the resolution. Wisconsin Democratic lawmakers are introducing a new bill trying to rework how the state draws legislative district boundaries. Republicans redrew the lines in 2011, helping them maintain control in both houses since then. Democratic voters filed a lawsuit in 2015 alleging the boundaries were unconstitutional, but the U.S. Supreme Court ruled last month that gerrymandering claims don't belong in federal court. The bill does have support from some Republicans, but experts say the bill has no chance.
In news around the state, there's a push to end the use of a dangerous and potentially deadly chemical at petroleum refineries. This comes after an explosion at a refinery in Superior in April of last year that left several people injured. The city council in neighboring Duluth, Minnesota, voted last night to request the EPA to prohibit the use of hydrogen fluoride. Shrapnel from the explosion nearly hit a tank of that chemical, which can be deadly if inhaled. A spokesperson for the plant says that when it's reconstructed, it will continue to use it despite opposition from both Duluth and Superior city leaders. Well, going in for a doctor's appointment is stressful enough. Imagine getting bombarded by medical terms in a language you don't even understand.
That's why 100 certified interpreters serve our health systems here in Dane County. Our Danica Lewis looked into how that program works and why it's needed. Danica?
Well, Susan and Mark, we are really actually setting the standard, the bar for best practices nationwide. According to UW Health, we do have the highest concentration of certified medical interpreters in the entire country right here in South Central Wisconsin. UW's 8 full-time staff members and those 100 contracted workers you just mentioned, they cover about 20 different languages, the most requested from patients being Spanish, followed by sign language, Hmong, and Arabic. To supplement that, there's access to video and phone interpreting, which offers more than 250 languages when needed.
Literally is life and death. It can make a difference in somebody's diagnosis, whether you are, the correct interpretation, because clearly, physicians and others rely on the information that's given to them by the patient.
And think about this, these interpreters have to know a lot of different medical terminology because they can be requested at anything from routine follow-up appointments to emergency surgeries to end-of-life scenarios, you name it. Coming up at 5, we will introduce you to one of the women translating full-time and bring you inside an appointment where you can tell just how crucial this service can be. By the way, jobs in translating and interpreting are expected to grow 18% from 2016 to 2026. That's more than double the rate of all occupations in the U.S.
Leading the way again here in southern Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
Danica, thank you.
Still to come at 4. Here's a question for you. How do you go from running a martial arts studio in Wanakee to being on screen in the next Quentin Tarantino movie?
That's exactly what the owner of Moe's Martial Arts Studio has accomplished. We'll talk with Mike when Live at 4 continues. Well, Facebook is stirring controversy once again, this time with plans to launch a digital currency.
The idea has provoked some strong reaction in Washington. Facebook calls it Libra. It is the company's plan to take on cryptocurrency. A Facebook executive explained to skeptical lawmakers how the digital currency would work. Members of Congress already concerned about how the social media giant handles user data says not so fast.
Wouldn't it be easier and safer if people could securely and inexpensively receive money transfers through their smartphones, just like they do for so many other things today?
After all the times Facebook has abused the public's trust, and you know that, do you really think people should trust Facebook with their hard-earned money?
President Trump has already weighed in, calling cryptocurrencies highly volatile and based on thin air. His administration is concerned that Lieber will be misused to launder money and finance terrorism. Some lawmakers are open to the idea, but Facebook faces an uphill battle convincing lawmakers that it can be trusted with our money.
Stocks slipped today amid trade concerns with China. The Dow Industrials lost 23 points, closing at 27,335. The Nasdaq Composite Index fell 35, and the S&P 500 was off 10.
My hands are registered as lethal weapons. We get into a fight, I accidentally kill you, I go to jail.
Anybody accidentally kills anybody in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter.
That was a scene from the upcoming Quentin Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which hits theaters next week.
You may be surprised to find out that the person playing Bruce Lee is from Wanakee and will be on the big screen, as you just saw there, alongside megastars like Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Al Pacino. Actor and owner of Moe's Martial Arts in Wanakee, Mike Moe joins us. Hi, Mike. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me. In the flesh. Yeah, here I am.
Boy, what an incredible experience. So how did this all happen?
Well, I was born on a very dark and cold mountain. I mean,
not that far back.
Yeah. So last summer, about a year ago, I got a call from my agent in Los Angeles. They said, hey, Quentin's doing a film.
Quentin Tarantino is the director.
Yes, he's doing a film, and there's a great role as Bruce Lee. And there's a lot that went behind that, but I was on a plane that night to do an audition. So my first round of auditions was, about a year ago. And I went through about 2 months of rigorous auditions and tests, and I came out on top, which is, now it's exciting to be able to,
I want to find out more about Quentin, but first let's back up. How did you get this Hollywood connection?
Right, so you own a martial arts studio, and you're teaching martial arts.
With 3 kids.
Yeah. And then were you acting and teaching at the same time?
Sure, so my wife and I spent about 8 years in Los Angeles. So I graduated from the University of Minnesota, not too far from here. And it was always one of my dreams to, number one, own a martial arts school, which shout out to Moe's Martial Arts in Wanakee, but also to be kind of like, my idols, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. So my wife said, we should go out there because, I don't want to be married to a man that regrets not going for something.
Yeah.
So we went out there. I started out very small. I took acting classes, and of course I was already a martial arts guy, so I felt really confident in that. So I started with martial arts commercials, just really small things. I would continue my acting training, and I did the silliest and the smallest student films, and I would audition for anything and everything just to get experience. And then little by little I would start booking commercials. Then I would say one line as a waiter on House, and then just little things here and there, and it just kept growing up. And now here I am promoting pretty big film.
So you spent 8 years in Hollywood, and your wife gets a job here.
Yes.
So you move back and
yes.
Settle down in Wanakee.
So after we had our daughter, which is our second child, we loved Los Angeles, but it wasn't for us as parents. Mm-hmm. So we kind of yearned for the Midwest upbringing that my wife and I had in Minnesota. So my wife got a job in Middleton, and we moved, and I started my school, so I was able to kind of divert and start a new dream of mine while also keeping up with the acting. So even though I live here, I still have my agents and manager in Los Angeles. So with technology, I can do my auditions from my basement, send the tapes over digitally, and that's kind of how I make it work.
So what was Quentin like?
Oh man, just so electric. He's so eccentric, such a genius. You can tell he's already played the movie in his head 1,000 different times. And when he gets to the day of, when I shot my scenes, he knew exactly what he wanted. And if we weren't able to get it, that would be trouble. So that's why he hires the best of the best, and that's why everybody wants to work with him.
And what is it like playing an icon?
One of your heroes, Bruce Lee.
One of your heroes, yeah. I mean, one of the even so many years since his death, he is such an icon.
Right. I mean, the name Bruce Lee is synonymous with, everybody worldwide.
Yeah.
Not only as a martial artist, but as somebody who transcended race, transcended just being a martial artist. He was a philosopher, he was a really, really deep philosophy, and just a really great person to have, young, not only Asian kids like me, but just to see like, oh man, I want to be like this guy. He's very confident, he's very strong, he's very, very cool.
Is it intimidating though?
Oh, it was absolutely intimidating, and I think that's what drove me to put so much effort into my preparation for this role, because number one, if you get Bruce wrong, everybody's going to tell you about it.
That's true.
Number two, I would never forgive myself for for living up to his legend.
So what's next?
What's next? I don't know. Universe, bring it on. I've got a movie called Killer Man coming out, which is a Liam Hemsworth starred film. So that's coming out in August, and looking forward to the premiere next week. So I'm going to be flying out in a couple days. So yeah, lots of exciting things going on, and of course, balancing family and also my martial arts school, and also our ninja gym, Go Ninja. So we've got our hands full.
Your plate is full.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Continued
film.
success. Can't wait to see it.
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
guys.
Mike. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Take a look at this. Check out what Guinness now says is the steepest road in the entire world. This street in Harlech, Wales has a grading of 37.45%. That's a rise of 1 foot for every 2.67 feet you travel. One resident said her car slid down the road with all 4 tires locked. A street party to celebrate the designation planned for the end of this month. Let's hope everybody's able to keep their footing.
Otherwise...
It makes my calves hurt looking at
Oh, yeah, that's the only way you're getting up it. Crazy hike.
It's
pretty, though, isn't
What's
it?
that, like this?
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely steep. I mean, look at, their feet are all flexed sideways. It is pretty, though. You can see all the rock and the green around it. A Wales trip, just
There
not
you
walking up
go.
the road.
It is hot and sticky.
It is.
And it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. Our humidity is going to continue to increase. Unfortunately, temperatures also just going up by Thursday and Friday. Right now, we do have a few clouds in the sky. It's just so muggy outside. We'll take a look at what's ahead for the rest of the work week, though, as far as those temps are concerned, right after break. Overall, the sky really doesn't look too bad for us right now. We got a little bit of blue sky, a few clouds out there, a little bit of sun coming through also. Of course, the main problem outside currently, it's just so sticky. It's very warm and very humid. Our dew points just continuing to increase over the next few days. We're about 87 currently in Madison with a calm breeze. Not enough that you really notice it, though. It would be a little nice. Our dew points in the upper 60s. And again, he almost feels like you kind of swim through the air. We do have some showers off to the west. We'll stay pretty quiet through the evening, just a few clouds building in for us. And then the rain chance will start to increase for us overnight. Not a great chance for showers, but as these fronts do slide south and east, we may see a little bit of rain get pushed into southern Wisconsin. Other than that, we stay in an unsettled, unfortunate pattern with a lot of humidity through the rest of the week and into the weekend. No big changes there. Nothing new really moving in. Again, 87 in Madison, but we're still at 86 in La Crosse. Notice that cooler air at the southern edge of Minnesota. That's where the storms are right now, in the mid 70s for Fairmont and Austin. The rainfall, as it does move in, those chances for showers over the next few days. The good news, when the rain does come through, it allows our temperatures to cool off just a little bit. Unfortunately, though, as we look ahead in that 10-day forecast, temperatures rebound quite quickly with any of those rain chances. Again, those dew points in the upper 60s in Madison. We're seeing lower 70s, though, along the western edge from La Crosse down to Dubuque. Overnight, plan on a partly cloudy sky with that chance for showers and thunderstorms. And by tomorrow morning, we'll see a little bit of sun in the afternoon, though we may have another chance. May see a few showers and thunderstorms because it's going to be so hot and humid outside. Same goes for early in the day on Thursday. You may hear a few rumbles of thunder early Thursday morning. Unfortunately, that rain doesn't cool us down either, because by Thursday afternoon, that's going to really kick off the heat that leads us into the weekend. Very warm weather for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and those dew points increasing also heading into the weekend. So again, overnight, partly cloudy. We may see a few showers and thunderstorms slide on through. Not a great chance for us. Overnight lows only falling to about 70, so very mild outside early in the day. Tomorrow afternoon, we will have that chance to see just a few showers. Temperatures will be close to 90 in the low 90s for afternoon highs, with, of course, heat index readings even higher. For early Thursday morning, there's that rainfall coming in for us, and then later in the afternoon, the heat really arrives. Those temperatures in the mid to low 90s for our afternoon highs, and the dew points even higher. As far as the heat index readings are concerned for your Wednesday, mid to upper 90s, and then heading into Thursday and Friday, we start to get a little closer to the triple-digit mark and crossing right on over. It's going to be very hot outside. It's going to feel even hotter for Thursday. 103 is what we're getting right now for our heat index reading around Madison, but notice Boscobel at about 109, Platteville at 105 for what it'll feel like. So because of that, there is already an excessive heat watch in effect for the western counties stretching west and south. We may still see one issued actually for all of southern Wisconsin. We'll be keeping an eye over that over the next few days, because it is going to be so hot outside. We want people just to be aware of how hot it is. Very easy when it's that warm to get heat exhaustion, or even worse, of course, a heat stroke. So always important to know the signs. If you're outside and starting to feel just a little dizzy, maybe a little nauseous, or sweating just a little too much, you'll want to take a break. Sit down, of course, get a lot of water in your system. Get in the shade or get inside if you can. This hot weather has made us add alert days to the forecast for the rest of the work weekend into the weekend due to those heat index readings and our very high temperatures. Overnight lows will be close to 70, very mild and muggy. And because our temperatures will be close to our dew points, we do have the chance for some patchy fog early in the day. Low 90s for afternoon highs tomorrow. Incredibly hot and humid. Heat index readings close to triple digits for us. Chance for some showers and thunderstorms late on Wednesday and then early on Thursday. Hot outside for Thursday and Friday, and then we do have the chance for some rain heading into this weekend. Monday will be humid, but thankfully by next week we'll actually get a little bit of a break in the heat. We'll fall a little closer to average in the mid to low 80s for those afternoon highs. Of course, humidity will still be a thing, but we can handle 86 and humid much better than 94 and humid. Next week also bring in some sunshine for us, and those overnight lows next week will fall back a little more too, because as we mentioned yesterday, when it's warm overnight, that's almost as bad sometimes as being hot in the afternoon.
Yeah. Another week, we'll get through it.
Yes, we're marching through.
Okay, thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Well, it was a half century ago today. 3 American astronauts took one giant leap for mankind, launching on a trip to the moon.
The Apollo 11 mission is considered one of the greatest achievements in space travel. And today, the Kennedy Space Center remembered the milestone. Chris Martinez reports.
At the Kennedy Space Center this morning, visitors at Launch Pad 39A cheered at the precise moment Apollo 11 blasted off for the moon 50 years ago.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
On July 16, 1969, a Saturn V rocket carried 3 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, on the 225,000-mile journey. Walter Cronkite anchored CBS News coverage.
Oh boy, it looks good, Wally.
It was the beginning of a historic mission that many consider one of mankind's greatest accomplishments. Collins looked back at the victory for America in the space race.
We crew felt the weight of the world on our shoulders. We knew that everyone would be looking at us, friend or foe.
4 days later, the lunar module touched down.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
And Armstrong became the first person to set foot on the moon.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin left behind an American flag and a plaque that read in part, "We came in peace for all mankind."
Their success expanded humanity's understanding of our celestial neighbor, and most importantly, it taught us something about ourselves, that together we can accomplish any goal.
NASA has set its sights on returning to the moon. The project faces cost overruns and schedule delays, but the goal is to have a man or woman walking on the moon by the year 2024. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Kennedy Space Center.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
Buzz Aldrin was also reportedly at today's event at Cape Canaveral. Neil Armstrong died in 2012.
50 years ago.
You remember you were in 8th grade watching it?
Yeah, I was between 8th grade and freshman in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember it well. And they marked the launch of Apollo 11 at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. In fact, NASA staged another historic launch today. People gathered to watch 5,000 model rockets take off all at once. Rightly so, at 9:23 a.m., the time of the Apollo 11 launch. This is the Guinness World attempt for the number of rockets launched at the same time, hoping to break one record to honor another.
That is such a great idea. Look at that.
And just watch them all fall to the ground.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Boom. Well, still to come at 4, in case you haven't noticed, it is a bumper year for fleas and ticks, and some tick bites can cause an allergic reaction.
Consumer Reports has some tips on how to avoid ticks and what to do if you've been bit. That's when Live at 4 continues.
This is a live look at the UW Memorial Union. I assume the terrace will be a little crowded today.
Oh yeah, that's the place to be.
It sure is. Well, with the warmer weather, more and more people are outside, which means more and more people are exposed to ticks and tick-borne illnesses.
Disease-transmitting ticks have been reported in every state, and there is a tick that you might not have heard of. Its bite might make you allergic to red meat. Our Leah Linscheid reports Consumer Reports warnings.
While most of us worry about Lyme disease or Rocky Mountain spotted fever, scientists believe the bite of the Lone Star tick is the cause of a very unusual condition. After an allergic reaction sent Dean Cecil to the ER in 2016, an allergist was able to diagnose him with an allergy to red meat caused by a tick bite. He now carries an EpiPen and has to avoid eating pork, lamb, and beef.
I used to love to grill out, your hamburgers, your steaks, your ribs. Well, those items are no longer on my menu.
It's not entirely clear to scientists why a bite from the Lone Star tick can trigger an allergy to the carbohydrate alpha-gal, which is found in red meat, or really how common this allergy is. But it's important to know it doesn't happen to everyone who gets bitten by this tick.
Right now, the Lone Star tick is found mainly in the southeast U.S., but their habitats are spreading, and they can be found as far north as the Midwest. While not all ticks carry the same diseases, at least one variety of disease-transmitting ticks can be found in every state. Black-legged ticks spread Lyme disease, which is the most common. About 300,000 Americans develop Lyme every year.
One way to avoid a tick-borne infection is to prevent tick bites by always using an effective insect repellent.
Consumer Reports' intensive testing of repellents found products that contain between 25 and 30% DEET are best at repelling ticks.
You'll want to thoroughly check yourself and others for ticks after being outside, and shower soon after you come indoors.
For extra protection, toss the clothing you wore outside into the dryer on high heat for 10 minutes to kill ticks that might still be hanging on. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Linscheid.
Now, if you do find a tick that has left a bite, it's very important to remove it properly.
Use fine-tipped tweezers to grasp the tick as close to the body as possible and pull upward with steady, even pressure.
If you experience flu-like symptoms, you should see a doctor as soon as possible.
This is why I don't leave the house.
No, you have to leave the house.
Still to come, there's more at 4. It's too hot to turn on the oven.
Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here next to show us some fun ways to grill kebabs this week for dinner. There's Angie. We'll share those recipes when we come back.
39 and 90 right around Beloit, still seeing significant delays northbound. We do have one lane closed there due to construction. Camera getting shifted around a little bit, but you can see the significant backups there right now. Again, the traffic causing about a 15 to 20 minute delay heading northbound on 39 and 90. This is right around Beloit, so if your commute is taking you up that direction, or if you know folks that'll be driving along that route, it's going to take them a little longer than usual. Along the Beltline, the eastbound side, our speeds are down to about 20 miles per hour, but everyone is still moving. Westbound, we're slowing down just a little bit after the on-ramp to Fish Hatchery Road, and then things improve quite a bit up westbound. From Janesville to the Beltline, it'll take you just about 26 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, 16, and the drive from Sun Prairie to downtown has increased just a little bit, about 17 minutes this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Jana, thank you. You're watching Eskil Roenbakken set up his gear at the edge of a walkway in Norway. He changes into a red bodysuit and climbs to the top of his rig without any safety gear at all. Eskil grabs onto the post and performs a handstand 1,300 feet above the ground. He's been balancing professionally for more than 20 years, and this stunt was his unique way of celebrating his 40th birthday.
Wow.
Not sure there's a 41st birthday.
Oh, yikes.
This is a great time of year to fire up the grill if you're wearing shorts and a tank top. We are not, so we're inside today.
Angie Horgan from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here. Hi, Angie. When it's too hot to grill, then you know it's hot.
I know. I feel bad. June, it was too rainy. Now it's July.
But this is a good alternative. Electric pan.
Keep your electric grill out this summer. I think you're going to need it. Right, so I got a nice electric grill. So some more kebab recipes, which I love kebabs this time of year because the vegetables are getting ready in the garden. Farmers markets are here. So use up all those great vegetables and incorporate them with some lean beef.
Now, what cuts of beef do you use for kebabs?
I usually always use top sirloin, unless I have leftover something else, because any steak would be fine, especially a steak that doesn't need to be marinated. So you could use any kind of steak, but sirloin's more economical than the premium cuts. It's tender enough, you don't have to marinate it, so you don't have to do a lot of prep. So it's perfect. It's very versatile.
Okay, so what do we got?
Okay, let's start with Sonoma-style beef skewers. So I have a bed of orzo with some sauteed Swiss chard and some sauteed yellow onion, a little garlic in there. So I did that while I was doing the kebabs. You can do it at the same time. And then the kebabs are all beef. They're all top sirloin. But I toss the top sirloin with cardamom and smoked paprika. So that's what you're smelling. It gives it a really nice smoky, yeah. So grilled those. Now, I've been grilling them just on this little indoor grill, which isn't as hot as an outdoor grill, probably 10 minutes.
That's it.
Every 3 minutes, just kind of rolling them. I like to grill, I always grill like on a medium low heat, just so you don't get too hot for flare-ups. And with the little beef chunks, they don't take that long. And if you like them more well done, keep some space in between them. If you like them a nice medium rare, put them tight, and then it'll keep them pink.
Okay.
Right, so then also this recipe has kind of a roasted tomato topping. So I took 4 plum tomatoes and grilled them just till the skins charred off, and then chopped them and put some garlic in with a little more extra virgin olive oil. And then just put that on, and a little kosher salt to taste.
Boy, that's a great summer dinner.
Isn't
and that couldn't be easier.
Tomatoes will be coming ripe soon. We always seem to have a lot at once.
Yeah, they all come at once.
Yeah. So there's our Sonoma beef skewers.
All right, that looks great.
And these pine nuts go on top too, or no?
Yes. Oh, yeah, they can get tossed on top. Okay, so then here I've got a meat and potato lovers kebab. So usually I don't kebab potatoes. I do them in a foil pack. But I bought the bag of the little tiny potatoes with all the different flavors, but you can use any kind of potato. But par cook them. So cook them at least halfway. So toss them in a microwave-safe dish with a little water. Cover them about 8 minutes for these little ones. And then they're about half cooked, so they're soft. So then they're ready for the grill. Otherwise, they'll take a lot longer than your steak and your other veggies. So I skewered that up. And actually, I tossed it first with a secret sauce of A1 and garlic. Okay?
That's a good
2 ingredients.
A1 on a steak.
A1, I know, don't tell anybody. And then I got 1 zucchini in here and 1 yellow squash, and then the potatoes. So toss that all together, and then keep some sauce, don't put it all in, and then baste them. as they're grilling, and this is what everybody's smelling and popping in the studio and asking us what we're grilling. It's the A1.
So you want to use heartier vegetables for kebabs, ones that are a little sturdier, I guess?
Yeah, ones that you want to put on the stick with your steak or your potato. Now, I loved grilled tomatoes. I love doing cherry tomatoes, but I'll make a whole kebab or 2 or 3 of just cherry tomatoes. They'll take about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So cook those separately.
Keep an eye on them. Cook them separately, and we have a lot of recipes too with even fruit kebabs, and they don't take nearly as long either. So.
And the wooden sticks don't burn on the grill?
I soaked them a little bit ahead of time.
See, I knew this.
So I double bagged them for traveling, but about 10 minutes.
Just in water?
Just in water. Just so if you got a little bit too hot of a grill, you don't get charred.
That's a good
tip.
They'll catch on fire.
They could catch a little bit on fire. That's for sure. I've done that.
So this is pretty easy.
So yeah, steak and potato kebabs, and then a little bit fancier, but a Sonoma-style beef kebab.
And you got all sorts of kebab recipes online.
We do. Beeftips.com is our website, so check that out. Click right on As Seen on TV, and you'll find these recipes plus a lot of great other summertime favorites.
It's going to cool off. We'll get the grill out again.
Next time we'll be outside.
We keep saying that.
No, we have.
All right, Ange, thank you. Stay cool.
Yes,
we'll have
you
a
too.
final check of that forecast coming up. It's just hot.
It is a little toasty outside, and it just feels so muggy right now. Now, we do have some clouds building in, and there is going to be a chance for some showers and thunderstorms to slide through overnight. Right now, the rain is all off to the west in Minnesota and Iowa, but not ruling out the chance for those, again, to drift in overnight. We're at 87 right now in Madison, but 91 in Mineral Point, 88 in Janesville, and then about 87 in Lone Rock. also. So it is going to be toasty outside as we look ahead through the rest of the evening. Certainly keep that in mind. It actually feels, of course, a little warmer than 87. Feels like we're at about 90 Madison. 98 though in Mineral Point, 95 Bosqueville. So that's our heat index reading. Looking ahead through the rest of the evening, thankfully we don't have any rain concerns coming through this evening or for much of the overnight. Temperatures are going to hold in the 80s while we still have sunshine, and then we start to drop into the 70s. But those overnight lows are going to stop right there at about 70 degrees. And of course, not falling any more than that overnight just means that we're in for a little bit of a warm and mild evening. Heading into tomorrow, it is also going to be pretty muggy outside. We still have those alert days in the forecast also, actually, as we stretch into the weekend, just because it is going to be so hot and muggy out.
And heat advisories way out west.
Heat advisories to the west, but the Milwaukee National Weather Service office considering putting something in effect for us. So it's something we're going to be watching. We wanted to wait to see how the temperatures verify, but we don't have anything in effect right now for Dane County on east. We'll be keeping an eye on it.
All right, very good. Thanks, Dana.
Tomorrow here on Live at 4, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company answers your plant and garden questions.
And our gourmet dietitian, registered dietitian Julie Andrews, has some great summer recipes for you to try. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.
More food, yay!
More food. In our final touch, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, we have some terrifying images emerging from the deep.
Cue the jaws.